Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mayor Dwight C. Jones, Mr. Craig Dorset, Mr. Tim Joyce. I would like to welcome everybody here for the launch of our First Lady's and Secretary of Interior's Let's Move Outside initiative. My name is Jared Wansley, and I am a Richmond native working as the biological science technician here at Richmond National Battlefield Park. I'm extremely excited about this event because on a very basic level, I thoroughly appreciate being in nature. My initial interest working in the environment and natural resources came from my love of being outside and just enjoying my surroundings. Back in the day when I was younger, I'm not a kid anymore, but I remember growing up and spending summers in the rural areas of South Carolina where my father's from. And my mother would give me little mini nature lessons. Say, hey Jared, come look at this tree. Come look at this insect. Come look at this flower. And that exposure and those experiences really had a huge impact on my life and made me turn my interest into a passion and my passion into a career. And that's where I ended up at Virginia Tech and studied wildlife science. And during my college career, I was fortunate enough to work up and down the East Coast in natural resources management through various research and internship opportunities. And to this day, it wasn't easy. It took a lot of hard work, effort, persistence, and a few seasonal years to get to where I am now. And to this day, even though it might not be the most glamorous work, I continue to do it because I love it. And a lot of people don't have that luxury to say they enjoy what they do on their job every day. I mean, I get to go outside and play all day. Who wouldn't really like that? But in all seriousness, I do wholeheartedly believe in what we do because taking good care of our natural environment, whether it's a small ant crawling across your toe right now or an eagle soaring in the air, if we take care of our environment will take care of us. And that's why this event is so important. It'll inspire our youth to get out, exercise, be healthy, have fun, but it'll also expose them and teach them about the wonders of our environment and the importance of nature and how it affects us on a daily basis. So without further ado, I would like to bring to the podium Mr. Craig Dorset.
Thank you, Jarrett, and thank you, Mayor Jones, for hosting us. It's my real honor to be here today on behalf of First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, and the Secretary of the U.S. Department of the Interior, Sally Jewell, because these two leaders care so deeply about the health of our children and the health of our planet. They've joined forces to launch Let's Move Outside, an initiative designed to create millions of opportunities for young people to play, to learn, to serve, and to work outside. This effort has inspired us to create new programs like the President's Every Kid in a Park program, which grants free access to all fourth graders and their families to any fee-charging federal public lands. And it's also spurred investments in existing programs, such as the 21st Century Conservation Service Corps, which provides work opportunities to young people and returning veterans on our public lands and is modeled to the spirit of the New Deal era Civilian Conservation Corps. So at the Department of the Interior, our bureaus and agencies are all in on this effort. Everyone from the National Park Service, who's hosting us here today, to the Fish and Wildlife Service, so we have some friends from the Fish and Wildlife Service here today, to the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the U.S. Geological Survey. But we can't do it alone. And this work requires strong partnerships. And that's why we're so excited to be teamed up in this effort with the YMCA of the USA. We have some folks from the Y here today. The Y is a real leader nationwide in serving young people. They serve hundreds of thousands of young people every day and are real leaders in their communities, like here in Richmond. We've also received the generous support of the American Express Foundation, which is a leader in historic preservation and supporting volunteerism around the country, and they've stepped up in a big way with a $5 million contribution to this effort nationwide. So let's give it up for American Express. So what we have is a national movement that's being put into action through local activation. And the Let's Move Outside initiative is targeting 50 priority cities around the country to focus our efforts with a goal of increasing participation in outdoor programs. So it's with great excitement that I'm here today to announce that Secretary Jewell has selected Richmond to be one of those 50 priority cities. So let's move outside Richmond. There's several criteria that go into selecting the cities, but one of the most important is strong local leadership. And here in Richmond, you have a mayor who is a real champion for young people, someone who's an advocate for the outdoors, and is firmly committed to making Richmond a great place to play, to learn, to serve, and to work. So allow me to introduce your mayor, Dwight Jones.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Craig, and thank you, Jarrett. And thank all of you who are here, the National Park Service, for all that you do in the city of Richmond and with our sites in the area, the YMCA, all of our partners here. It's a delight to be here and to be a part of this Let's Move Outside initiative. I've got to be honest with you, when my staff told me about this, they said Michelle Obama was going to be here. And they said, well, if she's going to be here, do you think you can go? I said, well, if the president's wife comes, I'm going to be there. They broke it to me today that that wasn't happening. But I'm happy to be here anyway because we have done so much in the city of Richmond over the last 7.5 years to promote healthy lifestyles. We have promoted outdoor living. We have promoted healthy communities. Our Mayor's Youth Academy has been involved in so many energetic programs for our young people. Our Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission has been so active in providing more dedicated bike lanes, the UCI races here just last year. And so this is right in our wheelhouse. And so we're excited about the Let's Move Outside initiative. We're excited about what's happening here in the city of Richmond, and we're excited to be in the company of those who have been chosen to be a part of this endeavor. It's only natural for that to happen for us because we're one of 50 cities chosen to kick off the program because we have been known as the best town ever by Outside Magazine, and we're getting all kinds of accolades all over the world, all over the country, about being a city where great activities and great things happen. And so the Obamas have been known for many things for which I'll be grateful and will miss when they're no longer in office, but sustainability issues have been high on their agenda. Health initiatives have been high on their agenda. And this whole Let's Move initiative is something that I think is extremely important for not only children, but for all of us, because we have a problem in this country with obesity and with sustainability and with healthy initiatives. And I think that the First Lady is absolutely right. We need for our children to be more active. We need to incorporate healthy physical activity and nutrition into everyday activities. Now, let me just take you to a little stroll down memory lane. When I was a kid, we would get home from school and we couldn't wait to take off our school clothes and put on our play clothes. And our mothers would kick us out of the house and tell us that they didn't want us back until dinner time. And we would go out and we would play, enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the physical activity. And it would be something that caused us to have at least a modicum of physical activity during the day. Now we have the internet, we have video games, fewer home-cooked meals, and our children are, it's evidenced by our children's appearance that we need more physical activity. Somebody said that we need at least an hour of physical activity a day. And so this program advocates for that, we advocate for that, and we want to accept the challenge to get our children, our young people outside so that they can move. And so all these fine young people who are standing behind me, no more holding up in the house. We're going to get outside and move, right? All right. That's a very tepid response from them. But I know that we have some adults in the audience who are going to help us make sure that happens. Let me say thank you to the National Park Service, thank you to the YMCA, and thank you to the Chimborazo community that does so much to keep this area pristine and to keep this area as a desirable area for these activities. So thank you so much for being here today, and let's move outside. Thank you so much. Okay, Tim.
You know, Mayor Jones, I remember those comments of being kicked out of the house. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, but usually what happened is back in my day, it was so hot inside, I was glad to get outside. And I didn't want to go back in. So I can recognize that. Good afternoon. My name is Tim Joyce. It's an honor and a privilege to stand before you today and with amazing friends and partners behind me. Many of these folks we know, whether it's Chat, the Churchill Activities Tutorial, and the fine leaders here, the principal for their school, who is a former YMCA employee. Let me go ahead and get that part in there. That just shows we're continuing to come together. The many things we do with the city and the mayor's initiatives that we work with, whether it's young people or youth court, or whether we're out in some of the communities serving with Parks and Rec. We're proud and privileged to do that. And Jarrett, every day I get to go outside and play too. So I understand exactly your comments that you're making. This is a national movement here between the First Ladies program and the YMCA of the USA. Do not miss that Richmond is one of 50. Last time I checked, there were more than 55 cities in the United States of America. Okay, so this is no small thing that we got, and it's a great honor to be a part. I'm very excited that the YMCA and the Richmond YMCA are part of this national movement. We are coming together, and that is our role in this, is just to help sit at the table with everybody else, and let's come together and get the brightest and the smartest, the most passionate and the most fervent about exercise and activity and service and giving back, and let's sit at the common table of the community and figure out how can we do it better. The goal, I believe, is 1 million volunteers, I think, from a national movement. Well, currently, right now, in the YMCA across the United States, we have more than 600,000. So you start bringing others in, like the communities in the cities, municipalities, Chat, all the other great organizations in the areas. 1 million's not going to be hard for us to reach. We might just do it here in Richmond. Did I just say that? I'm sorry, I just made that promise here. But it's all about being active. It's all about being outdoors. Do not miss, it's all about being engaged and serving and stepping up for someone other than yourself, beyond yourself, because it takes so many. A little sidebar, I've been told by staff I talk too long, so enter the F-15 right now to cut off my comments. Our staff will stoop to no level to make sure that happens. But point being is, it is about volunteering. And that's a core principle and DNA in this organization, the YMCA Greater Richmond, for 162 years of service to this community. It's something we take very personally, and we're going to do everything in our power to help convene and to host and to sit and to talk, and we will be at the table for that. This initiative will be bigger than any one person. It's going to be bigger than any one of these young people here, but the beauty of it is they're going to carry it a lot farther than I will, because see, it is their future that we're talking about. Right now we might be talking about Parks and Rec and getting back to public land and getting involved, but it goes bigger, Mr. Mayor, as you know, in public service in so many different ways. And so for that, we're just helping to stabilize, to set up, to endow and prepare the next leaders of this great city and this country, because one thing we all know, we either invest in them now or we're going to pay for it later. And we believe that at the YMCA. And so for that, we're excited. And for the other piece, this is all about physical activity along with volunteering. And if you knew the strategic plan of the YMCA, your YMCA, it only has 5 goals, but 2 of them are hit. It's about being physically active every single day and reducing obesity and diabetes. No one person, no one organization can do it. It takes all of us collectively sitting here together to do it. So we'll be excited to sit at the table with the public, the private, other nonprofit organizations to come together to say, how do we do this the best with a shared focus and passion and expertise, whether it's in conservation, physical activity, serving the least of these or the more of these. How do we all come together? Craig, I too would like to thank American Express and what they're doing on a national level to help move this, not only in this great city and community, but in others. I'd like to thank our friends, personally to me, Chat. We do a lot of partnerships with them and help them with an amazing ministry of what they do every day serving the children in this community. I'd also like to thank the Parks and Rec and what's happening there, because we have a day camp down in south of Richmond called Camp Thunderbird, where we're partnering with Pocahontas State Park and bringing their resources and expertise every day into the lives of our children. No one person can do it alone. We don't pretend to be able to do it, but we're excited to sit together at the table with everybody else. So with this, let's get out, let's get active, let's move, let's volunteer, let's lock arms, let's ask the question. And I think we're going to go dig a hole or two. So Jared, I think you're coming back up here to tell us what we need to do. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. And as we conclude today's festivities, I just want to thank everyone who made this event possible. And now we would like to extend the opportunity to you guys to help us in a service project, beautifying the front of our park, planting a few native plants. So let's move.